Hello traders, I hope you all had a fantastic weekend and I hope you're having a very good Monday morning, because it does seem like Bitcoin is going to be making a new all-time high very soon. But in this video I want to go over some of the reasons why we are seeing this move. Rather than celebrating the fact that we're going to go to an all-time high, I want to bring this back into, just an educational piece on the reasons why I had a very strong conviction on Friday that this is the kind of thing that we'd be seeing going into the new week. I did think that Bitcoin would regain some significant dominance over a lot of the altcoins. I did think that we were going to be seeing a move up. And despite Friday being a little bit shaky, and we did come down a little bit lower than what we had expected on this, there really wasn't any reason to change that plan. Okay, this is a longer term thing, and it's very similar to what we saw where we were looking at support down at 30k, it dropped to 29 and then pumped. In this instance, we were looking at support at 61, it dropped to 60, and now we're seeing a big squeeze up again on here. But let's just take a look first of all at this chart. Okay, so this is basically the chart from our previous all-time high to now testing once again the all-time high. So what we were left with at the last time we were up here, okay, and this is just on one exchange, but a lot of the other exchanges were doing very similar things. The reason I'm pulling up this exchange, which is FTX, when we're looking at the BTC US dollar perp on FTX, is that we've seen this behavior before. And the last time it did this, it did lead to a massive increase in price. I can try and find it on the chart in a little bit if I remember, but I will also link the description, the video, to the last time I was looking at this, which was around the 1st or 2nd of August earlier on this year. Okay, and what we saw, okay, Bitcoin breaking up to all-time high. Immediately as soon as that happened, on a lot of exchanges, but particularly FTX, a very, very aggressive selling coming down. Okay, so we were sat here around 200 billion positive delta. Price came all the way down. It was what, about a 10% drop, and then we were sat here at negative 1.6 billion delta, which means that about $1.8 billion more Bitcoin sold at market than bought at market after breaking all-time high, which gave us roughly a 10% dip to the downside, a 10% correction. Now, that's kind of normal, okay? That's almost what you would expect to see, and then you would see, okay, a recovery from that point. But the bounce we got was really subdued, and this is what caused, I think, a lot of people to start looking elsewhere at alts, because Bitcoin, after hitting these lows down here at 58, really just went sideways for, well, since the 27th of October all the way up until today. Okay, so that's quite a long time when you're thinking of Bitcoin just to be stuck within a very, very small range here. Now, what happened during that whole period is we saw continued selling, in particular from this exchange, but again, going across all of the other exchanges also on this. So we were looking at our delta from the lows being around this negative 1.6, but then we had another almost $1 billion more sold at market than bought during this range. We had open interest decreasing, we had aggressive selling going on, but why wasn't price moving down when this selling was continuing? Okay, and this is again the important part that did lead to my bias of why we would be seeing a move to the upside. As you see, just look at the chart here, look at all the red compared to all of the blue. There's a lot more selling going on, but price isn't following it. Okay, so that is just one of the reasons. Okay, there's quite a few others, but we did cover this in detail in our trading rooms and everything, of why my bias was looking to the upside, because again, it's clear absorption. Okay, so if price is relatively stable and you're seeing the CVD trending down like this, the open interest trending down like this, what is it that they're selling into? And then you take a look at this chart. Look how much more here is on this order book than there is above. Okay, so just a lot of pressure, a lot of selling, but coming in consistently into areas where there is support on the chart. Okay, now this price could have been led a lot lower down, and you can see the CVD again here just trending downwards, whereas price remaining after this low at 58 remaining relatively stable, although the selling was continuing. So that was quite a big again, like you see the selling it, but it's coming down into these limit orders that are looking for a long position in order to take price much, much higher. And then I want to have a look at this one as well, and this is the OBV. So this is something that I haven't used so much in my trading, but I'm starting to. There's a few people within the community that are really doing some great stuff with OBV, and it's caused me to start looking at it a lot more. But once again, you see this divergence with the OBV and the price. Okay, so you can see as price is coming up, what happens? Price consolidates within a range. But again, heavy selling, okay, a lot more selling going on, or the OBV pulling back a lot more than what we're seeing within price. Okay, so that shows that, okay, you're not seeing this the same kind of divergence with this as the CVD just going down and down. But you're seeing this once again diverge away from where price is before getting a break of this level and continuing on to higher prices. So again, just another very interesting thing that was on the chart that was leading to this thought that, okay, it looks like it's a bit of a shakeout on the chart here, and it looks like this is reaccumulation getting ready for a move higher. And when you do actually look at the chart, where did price come into? Very simply just the golden pocket from this low to this high. So it wasn't particularly difficult. It was very technical. It was just, yeah, the golden pocket's what it was. And then we do get this move up from here. Now, there was always the possibility, I was saying, if some of these lows got taken, and we can pull things back onto, let's just take a look at the Bybit chart. And I was saying if these lows start to get taken, then I would expect a move down to here, but we never really got that. Okay, all of these wicks remained intact, so it kind of shook everyone out as much as it possibly could without becoming bearish, and now we see this move up. So yeah, that's where we are now. The other thing that was quite important on the chart was this, okay, the Bitcoin dominance, and this was the other part of my thought process. So I was very confident that Bitcoin would see a rise in dominance. Okay, come down into this golden pocket region. It did seem like the majority of the market they were all looking elsewhere. Okay, looking at a lot of the altcoins that have been doing just fantastically well and been amazing trades, but they had all hit target. And this is again what I had gone over on the Friday morning update, just saying that certain altcoins, they had reached the levels that we wanted them to. Yes, they could go higher, but I didn't see that there was that much reward left in them for the risk that was kind of the risk you're taking of buying so far away from support. And we have since then, okay, maybe we did have another day where a few of these came on to make other highs, but since then we have seen this bounce on Bitcoin dominance, and I would expect that to continue for another week or so before we do see possibly another pullback on this, depending on what happens with the Bitcoin chart and everything else here. So that was just another level of confluence that did lead to that thought process of, okay, looking for Bitcoin to go a bit higher, looking for the altcoins to have a bit of a pullback, and really just kind of rotating back into Bitcoin. So yeah, that just leaves us where price is. I don't really want to do anything too technical on this. I will, of course, if we do break all-time high, I'm going to do a live stream, and that's pretty much a given. I will be live if I'm around. I will be live to cover any move of all-time high. We can go into a lot more detail on this if and when that does happen. I think at this stage it's kind of inevitable that will happen, but we'll have to just monitor this. There's a big void here between our previous all-time high and our more recent previous all-time high. We do have this big, well, basically gap that could get backfilled. We do have to be aware of the CME gap that's all the way down here. Now we are looking at this more of a breakaway gap. So just the way that this gapped up above resistance, paid no real attention to the resistance on the way up. Now you would expect this to get filled at some point, but I think the squeeze could continue here with everyone basically expecting this to come back in, fill the gap before possibly bouncing. That hasn't happened. It's just gone straight up, and yeah, it could be a while before we do see this fill again on here. We could come up. If we do start to get a big correction, this will then come into play, but we've got to wait for price to start coming down again before before this big gap down here does come back into play on the CME chart. Anything else to cover on this video? I don't really think so. I'm not going to do the altcoins. Again, we can do that in a live stream later on. I've done Bitcoin dominance. We've seen the absorption. We've looked at the CVD. Yeah, I think that's everything. Yeah, I'll see everyone when we hit the inevitable all-time highs at some point. Now, if that doesn't happen, then I'll probably hop on I might not hop on a live stream. I'll certainly hop on a crew call for everyone. We are going to be doing one tonight anyway, so we'll see where price is at that point if we don't make new all-time highs today. But yeah, little rambly video. I hope that was interesting because it was interesting to me to see this absorption that we were getting across the exchanges. Now we can just have a quick look at some of the other exchanges and see how it was very similar. Okay, so Binance, okay, a lot of selling coming down with price remaining relatively stable. On this, you're getting a big increase in short positions and not very much in long positions. So once again, Binance being quite useful, seeing something very similar to what we saw on FTX. And then we can go over onto Bybit. And what we were seeing, again here, price remaining relatively stable. CVD coming down, big divergences in play. Open interest relatively flat on this one, so we weren't seeing that big increase in short positions like we were on Binance, but we were seeing it just overall CVD coming down against price here. So yeah, although I've used FTX as the example, this was kind of across all the exchanges. But that's everything. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers, bye.